So in the last video, we left the question or we could not get this question over here. So आज मैं यहीं से कंटिन्यू करना चाहूँगा. So let's see कि इसको लिखते कैसे. कल मैंने briefly ये डिस्कस किया था before ending the video because my time limit was up, 1 hour time limit. तो let's finish it today. Okay, so limit of f of x, our function, modulus function, when x tends to 0 minus, that is, we are approaching 0 towards the from the left hand side, right? We are approaching 0 from the left hand side. So that is the left hand limit. So what will be the left hand limit? Now for solving this kind of problem, what you need to do is basically write the definition of function first. Now for all the numbers which are on the left side of 0, since you are approaching 0 on the left side, you are concerned with this particular definition. So all the numbers which are on the left side of 0 has the value minus x. So here you better write minus x. Okay, so you've written minus x over here. Now what? Now you need to change the number which is approaching 0 from the left hand side to a very small number which is tending to 0. So this could be written as limit where h tends to 0. H is a very small number which is very near to 0. Okay. See, initially it was 0 minus, right? Now, in the place of x, I'm going to write 0 minus h. 0 minus h, okay? So, be very careful about how to write this. There is a minus sign over here, which I have replicated. Then in the bracket, I'm going to write 0 minus h. So minus of 0 minus h. That is minus of minus h, which is plus h. So what is the limit of h when h tends to 0? Definitely 0. You're going to get 0 only, right? So this is how you solve it. Okay, here what you'll do, limit of the function, your R modulus function, when x approaches 0 plus, that is positive, you're approaching 0 from the positive side, that is the right hand side. So you're finding the right hand limit. So what will be the value of right hand limit? According to the formula, the numbers which are greater than 0 will always give you x. Okay, so not minus x but plus x. So here you are going to write x, but since you are approaching, I'm sorry, I should have written it up here. Yeah, so since you are approaching 0 from the right hand side, what you're going to do is you're going to write limit when h tends to 0, limit of h tends to 0. By mistake I put this is equal to sign. Okay, limit when h tends to 0 of, now there is no minus sign, so you can directly write in the place of x 0 plus h, which is nothing but h. Okay, so now what is limit of 0 plus h when h tends to 0? It is h, and the answer comes out to be 0. Okay, and what is the limit when x tends to 0 of f of x? F of x is mod of x. Okay, and in the place of x, if you put 0, you're definitely going to get 0 only. Okay, so here your LHL, your RHL, and the limit at the point all are equal. That means the continuity of this function is verified. This function is everywhere continuous, and at 0 also it is continuous. Let's go to the next question. Okay, moving on to the next question. Prove that the greatest integer function square brackets x is continuous at all points except at integral points. Now, do you remember how the graph of greatest integer function looks like? I will show you. Uh, in your screen over here, you can see the graph of greatest integer function. You see these blue lines? They are basically representing a greatest integer function. Now, what is actually a greatest integer function if you remember? Number line. Suppose this is 0, this is -1, -2, 1, 2. Suppose you have your number over here, x. So x is between -1 and 2. X is greater than, x is between 1 and 2. X is greater than 1 and smaller than 2. So if you want to find the greatest integer function of x, first thing you should observe in here is to the left side of x, which is the greatest integer. To the left side, okay? So to the left side of x, we have all these numbers, all these integers. But which is the greatest out of them? So the greatest integer to the left side of x is 1. Right? So if x is between 1 and 2, the greatest integer function gives you 1. Similarly, if there is another number, let's say y. Now y is just a moment. Oops. Yes. Now y is between -2 and -1. So to the left side of this number y, which all integers exist? To the left side of y, there are many integers, but out of which is the greatest integer? So the greatest integer to the left side of y is -2. So the greatest integer function when y is between -2 and -1 is nothing but -2. So that's how you find the greatest integer function. And we have to prove that the greatest integer function x square bracket x is continuous at all points except integral points. At integral points it is not continuous, but otherwise it is continuous everywhere. So what we have to do is we have to do two things. Number one, we have to check continuity at the integral point, right? Because we have to show that it is not continuous at integral point. And second thing, we have to check continuity at any other point, at any other point which is non-integral, that is a real number lying between two integers. Okay, so we have to check continuity at these 2 points. And once we are able to check the continuity, then we can understand this greatest integer function is not continuous at integral point. Now, before going to continuity, before checking the continuity, as I showed you in the graph, as you can see this graph, is this graph a smooth graph? या ये जो ब्लू लाइंस है ये बीच बीच में अपीयर कर रहा है? डेफिनेटली ये बीच बीच में अपीयर कर रहा है. इसका मतलब क्या है? ये ब्लू लाइंस अगर बीच बीच में अपीयर कर रहे हैं मतलब ये इसको स्टेप फंक्शन भी बोलते नहीं. स्टेप फंक्शन आई थिंक पार्शियल फ्रैक्शन फंक्शन को नहीं, इसको भी बोलते हैं स्टेप फंक्शन, करेक्ट. तो ये स्मूथ नहीं है ये ग्राफ, इसमें ब्रेक्स है. तो ये ब्रेक कहाँ पे है? एज यू कैन सी द ब्रेक इज एट 1, फिर अगेन द ब्रेक इज एट 2, then the break is at 3, then the break is at 4, ऐसे ही -1 -2, मतलब at every integer there is a break, at every integer there is a break. ठीक है, that means this function is definitely not continuous at the integral points. But what about the space between two integers? 1 और 2 के बीच में straight line है, there are no breaks, so वहां पे वो you can say it is कंटिन्यूअस. बट इसको प्रूव कैसे करेंगे? प्रूव करना ट्रिकी है, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है, तो उसको हम लोग एक बार देख लेते हैं. ओके, ओके, so let f of x is equal to our greatest integer function. So first we will check the continuity of this greatest integer function at the integral points. Okay, चलो अब मैं तुम्हें एक नंबर लाइन पे एक यहाँ पे एक इंटीजर मैं तुम्हें एग्जाम्पल के हिसाब से बताता हूँ. ठीक है, सो suppose my integer is, let's say, c. My integer is c. So if I'm approaching c from left hand side, c के जस्ट पहले कौन सा इंटीजर आएगा? c के जस्ट पहले c -1. c के जस्ट बाद कौन सा इंटीजर आएगा? c+1. सो अगर मैं लेफ्ट साइड से अप्रोच कर रहा हूं, ठीक है, तो मैं c के बहुत नजदीक पहुंच चुका हूं, लेकिन c पे नहीं पहुंचा हूं, c के बहुत नजदीक पहुंचा हूं. c से जितना भी मैं नजदीक हूं, no matter how near I am c, I will be still on the left side of c, and that position, at that position जो भी मेरे पास नंबर होगा, that will not be equal to c. ठीक है, और अगर उसको मैंने मेरे फंक्शन में डाला, ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन में, तो मुझे आंसर क्या मिलेगा? मुझे आंसर मिलेगा c-1. चलो अब इमेजिन करो कि मैं ये नंबर c को अप्रोच कर रहा हूं फ्रॉम द राइट साइड. मैं इसको राइट साइड से अप्रोच कर रहा हूं. सो इफ आई एम अप्रोचिंग माई नंबर c फ्रॉम द राइट साइड, तब क्या होगा? मैं उसको अप्रोच कर रहा हूं, मैं अभी तक c पे पहुंचा नहीं हूं. I have not reached C. I'm just approaching C. So when I'm approaching C, I still will be near C on the right hand side. And then if I apply that particular number as a domain in my greatest integer function, what range, what answer will I get? See, if suppose I'm over here, very, very near to C. If I put this value, which is greater than C, into the greatest integer function, इस नंबर के लेफ्ट साइड में सबसे ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर कौन सा है? C. See how you got two different answers when you approached C from left side and right hand side. ठीक है, तो यही चीज हमें लिखनी है. ठीक है, कैसे लिखेंगे देखो. Let C belong to the set of integer. So f of x is equal to your greatest integer function, which can be defined as c-1 if x is greater than equal to c-1 and smaller than c, and it can be defined as c if x is greater than equal to c and smaller than c+1. ये दो डेफिनेशन क्यों चाहिए पता है? क्योंकि हम ये नंबर जो हमारा इंटीजर नंबर है ना c, उसको दो साइड से अप्रोच करने वाले हैं. क्यों हम c को अप्रोच कर रहे हैं? बिकॉज वी वांट टू चेक द कंटिन्यूटी एट c. तो c को अप्रोच करना जरूरी है. तो c को हम लोग लेफ्ट साइड से अप्रोच कर रहे हैं और राइट साइड से अप्रोच कर रहे हैं. जब हम लेफ्ट साइड से अप्रोच कर रहे हैं तो ये वाली डेफिनेशन यूज करेंगे. जब हम राइट साइड से अप्रोच करेंगे तो ये वाली डेफिनेशन यूज करेंगे. ठीक है, इसलिए मैंने दो अलग अलग डेफिनेशन लिखी है, एंड उसका जो रीजन है यहाँ में मैंने नंबर लाइन पे उसको अभी समझाया मैंने तुम्हें. चलो अब लिमिट्स में उसको कैसे लिखेंगे ये देखते हैं. सो लिमिट व्हेन x tends to c minus of f of x is equal to limit of x tends to c minus of greatest integer function of x ठीक है। अब देखो, इसको अगर सॉल्व करना है तो डायरेक्ट आंसर तो नहीं लिख सकते, एच की मेथड को हमें लाना पड़ेगा। तो सबसे पहला स्टेप क्या है एच की मेथड लिखने के लिए? ये जो x टेंड्स टू c माइनस है उसको तुम लिखो h टेंड्स टू 0। h क्या है, व्हाट इज h? ये क्वेश्चन बहुत बच्चों के माइंड में आता है। h इज अ वेरी स्मॉल नंबर विच इज टेंडिंग टू 0। टेंडिंग टू 0 मतलब वो 0 से बहुत करीब पहुंचने की कोशिश कर रहा है वो नंबर, या फिर 0 से बहुत करीब, बहुत छोटा नंबर है विच इज वेरी वेरी नियर टू 0। ठीक है, वेरी वेरी क्लोज टू 0। तो जैसे ही मैंने यहाँ पे h टेंड्स टू 0 लगा दिया, तो मेरे x की जगह पे मैं क्या लिखूंगा? x की जगह पे मैं लिखूंगा c माइनस एच। c माइनस एच, और ये हमारे ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन के अंदर ही रहेगा। ठीक है। अच्छा, c माइनस एच, c माइनस एच मतलब ऐसा कोई नंबर जो c से बहुत छोटा है, तो वो c से लेफ्ट साइड में रहेगा या राइट साइड में रहेगा? डेफिनेटली लेफ्ट साइड में रहेगा। तो c माइनस एच कहीं पे यहाँ पे एग्जिस्ट करता है, c माइनस एच। अच्छा, c माइनस एच अगर यहाँ पे एग्जिस्ट करता है, मतलब तुम्हारे c के लेफ्ट साइड में, तो उसका ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन क्या होगा? अगर उसका मैं ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन निकालूंगा तो मुझे क्या मिलेगा? c माइनस वन। इसका मतलब है इसका जो आंसर है वो डायरेक्टली क्या हो जाएगा? c माइनस वन। लॉजिक समझ में आया तुमको? ठीक है। तो हमने ये क्या निकाला, व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज द लेफ्ट हैंड लिमिट। अब हम राइट हैंड लिमिट ढूंढते हैं। राइट हैंड लिमिट ढूंढने के लिए क्या करेंगे? लिमिट ऑफ एफ ऑफ एक्स व्हेन एक्स टेंड्स टू सी प्लस इज इक्वल टू लिमिट ऑफ greatest integer function x when x tends to c plus which is equal to limit। अब क्या करेंगे, मैंने तुम्हें बताया था, ये जो x टेंड्स टू c माइनस है उसकी जगह पे हम लिखेंगे h टेंड्स टू 0। h का मतलब इट्स अ वेरी वेरी स्मॉल नंबर। ठीक है। तो जैसे ही यहाँ पे हमने h टेंड्स टू 0 लिखा, ये x की जगह पे मुझे चेंज करके क्या लिखना पड़ेगा? c प्लस एच। अब मुझे किसका ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन ढूंढना है? c प्लस एच का। c मेरा इंटीजर है, c प्लस एच कहाँ पे होगा? h बहुत छोटा नंबर है, h चाहे जितना भी छोटा हो, c प्लस एच हमेशा c के राइट साइड में ही रहेगा। यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? c प्लस एच। और ये c प्लस एच का अगर मैं ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन निकालता हूँ तो c प्लस एच के लेफ्ट साइड में, जस्ट लेफ्ट साइड में सबसे ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर कौन सा है? c। तो इसका आंसर क्या हो जाएगा? c। ये क्या है तुम्हारी राइट हैंड लिमिट। अब तुम लिख सकते हो सिंस लिमिट of greatest integer function x as we approach x from the left hand side is not equal to limit of greatest integer function of x as we approach x from the right hand side. Therefore f of x is equal to greatest integer function of x is not continuous at integral points। सबसे बड़ी चैलेंज जो कंटिन्यूटी चैप्टर में बोर्ड के लिए क्वेश्चंस को सॉल्व करने की या लिखने की होती है वो ये होती है कि हमें स्टेप्स प्रॉपरली लिखना है। ठीक है, वो जो अक्कड़ बक्कड़ बम्बे वो वाला जो सीन है तुम्हारा कम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम का, सैडली कम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम अभी इट हैज बीन रिड्यूस्ड टू दैट, but I think that explaining one concept just like continuity in proper statements and steps is equally important rather than just getting an answer with some abstract calculations। of course वो भी जीनियस लोग हैं जो लोग एब्स्ट्रैक्ट कैलकुलेशन से आंसर निकालते हैं, बट उनके पास मुझे लगता है एक्सप्रेशन की कमी है। एक्सप्रेशन मतलब दे कैनॉट एक्सप्लेन थिंग्स, and if you cannot explain things it is difficult in today's world। people are becoming robotic। ठीक है। सो ऐसा अपने को रोबोटिक नहीं बनना है। वी दैट्स व्हाई आई फील कि ये जो बोर्ड्स का सिनेरियो है, जिस तरीके से दे आर सेइंग दैट हाउ यू हैव टू एक्सप्रेस द आंसर्स, इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एनीवेज लेट्स गो अहेड। तो मैंने तुम्हें पहले ही प्रूव करवा दिया कि वी हैव टू चेक द कंटिन्यूटी एट इंटीग्रल पॉइंट। यहाँ पे तो कंटिन्यूस नहीं है। नाउ वी विल चेक द कंटिन्यूटी एट एनी अदर पॉइंट विच इज नॉन इंटीग्रल। ठीक है, तो ये कैसे लिखेंगे इसको देखो। ओके, सो दिस इज केस 2 वेयर एनी नंबर, पहले हमने c लिया था राइट, अब हम लोग लेंगे a। ठीक है, a does not belong to integers, so you can say that a belongs to your real number but it is not an integer। ठीक है, so let a be any real number such that a is greater than c minus 1 and smaller than c। ठीक है, ऑफ कोर्स। अच्छा, ये चीज मैं स्पेसिफाई कर देता हूं, वेयर c बिलोंग्स टू इंटीजर्स। c एक इंटीजर है। ठीक है, तो कोई भी दो इंटीजर के बीच में एक रियल नंबर एग्जिस्ट करता है। ठीक है, हम उस रियल नंबर से कंसर्न है यहाँ पे। वो रियल नंबर पे ये फंक्शन कंटिन्यूअस है, ये हमें प्रूव करना है। ठीक है, चलो लिमिट। अब हम वो रियल नंबर, अब एक बात याद रखना, सपोज तुम्हारे पास यहाँ पे c माइनस 1 है और यहाँ पे c है और तुम्हारा जो रियल नंबर है वो यहाँ पे। हम ये रियल नंबर को अप्रोच करने वाले, रियल नंबर को अप्रोच करना है। देखो कैसा ब्यूटीफुल सिनेरियो यहाँ पे क्रिएट हुआ है। ठीक है, तो लिमिट ऑफ f of x when x tends to a minus मतलब अब हम ये जो रियल नंबर है उसको लेफ्ट साइड से अप्रोच कर रहे हैं। वी आर अप्रोचिंग दैट रियल नंबर फ्रॉम द लेफ्ट साइड। ठीक है, कैसे लिखना है देखो, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। इज इक्वल टू लिमिट ऑफ greatest integer function of x when x tends to a minus, which is equal to limit of, अब मैं क्या करूंगा, h tends to 0 लिखूंगा, h tends to 0। ठीक है, अब h tends to 0 लिखा तो यहां पे x की जगह पे क्या लिखना पड़ेगा, मुझे लिखना पड़ेगा a माइनस एच। ठीक है, अब मुझे बताओ ये डायग्राम से a माइनस एच कहां पे, a माइनस एच इज, सी h इज टेंडिंग टू 0 मीन्स h एक बहुत छोटा नंबर है, उसको मैं a से सब्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा हूं। अगर मैं उसको a से सब्ट्रैक्ट करूंगा तो मुझे यहां पे कुछ a माइनस एच मिलेगा, a से जस्ट लेफ्ट साइड में। ठीक है, नाउ ये अगर तुम नोटिस करोगे तो ये स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट के अंदर मैंने लिखा है, मतलब ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन ऑफ a माइनस एच। अब a माइनस एच की पोजीशन भी तुम्हें पता है क्या है, दिस इज द पोजीशन ऑफ a माइनस एच, और उसका ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन मुझे क्या देगा, c माइनस 1। c माइनस 1 है ना उसके लेफ्ट साइड में, लेफ्ट साइड में सबसे ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर कौन सा है उसका, c माइनस 1। तो इसका डायरेक्ट आंसर क्या हो जाएगा, c माइनस 1। एंड व्हाट इज दिस, दिस इज योर LHL। करेक्ट। अब RHL ढूंढते हैं, है ना, इंटरेस्टिंग, अब इंटरेस्टिंग लग रहा है। ओके, सो लिमिट x tends to a plus of f of x is equal to limit of greatest integer function of x when x tends to a plus मतलब we are approaching a from the right hand side, which is equal to limit of अब यहाँ पे मैं h tends to 0 कर दूंगा, इसके लिए मुझे लिखना पड़ेगा a plus h। अब ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन ऑफ a plus h क्या है, a plus h इज अ नंबर विच इज जस्ट ऑन द राइट ऑफ a, यहाँ पे होगा a plus h। और a प्लस एच का ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर फंक्शन कितना होगा? a प्लस एच के जस्ट लेफ्ट में कौन सा इंटीजर है? a है? नहीं, ये तो रियल नंबर है। कौन सा इंटीजर है a प्लस एच के जस्ट लेफ्ट में? ग्रेटेस्ट इंटीजर c माइनस वन। तो इसका आंसर क्या होगा? c माइनस वन। एंड व्हाट इज दिस? r h l। ठीक है, LHL RHL दोनों इक्वल है। ठीक है, सो अब मुझे बताओ कि व्हाट इज द लिमिट when x tends to a of f of x, it is equal to f of a which is nothing but c minus वन। मतलब इस पॉइंट पे भी हम लिमिट ढूंढेंगे तो हमें वो c माइनस वन आती है। तो लिमिट एट अ पॉइंट, लिमिट फ्रॉम लेफ्ट हैंड साइड, लिमिट फ्रॉम अप्रोचिंग द पॉइंट फ्रॉम राइट हैंड साइड, all are equal to c minus 1. So we can say that since LHL is equal to RHL is equal to f of a, therefore f of x is everywhere continuous for a non-integral real number. f of x is everywhere continuous for a non-integral रियल नंबर। इंटीजर्स के लिए वो कंटिन्यूस नहीं है, नॉन इंटीग्रल रियल नंबर्स के लिए ये फंक्शन कंटिन्यूस है। ठीक है, सो दिस इज द मेथड ऑफ राइटिंग। इसको बहुत अच्छे से नोट कर लेना क्योंकि तुम्हें हो सकता है एक्सरसाइज में ऐसे सिमिलर क्वेश्चंस आए जिसको थोड़ा समझाना समझना डिफिकल्ट हो। चलो, इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं। Okay, find all the points of discontinuity of the function f defined by f of x is equal to x plus 2 when x is smaller than equal to 1, x minus 2 when x is between 1 and 2, and f of x is equal to 0 for all the numbers, for all the values of x which are greater than 2. अब डिसकंटिन्यूटी ढूंढना है हमें, तो डिसकंटिन्यूटी विल बी, मैंने तुम्हें बताया था डिसकंटिन्यूटी के बारे में कि डिसकंटिन्यूटी जनरली वही होती है जहां पे फंक्शन की डेफिनेशन चेंज होती है। ठीक है, तो बहुत ध्यान रखना, अभी हम लोग कैसे पॉइंट्स ऑफ डिसकंटिन्यूटी ढूंढेंगे उसके बारे में। सो वी हैव टू फाइंड ऑल द पॉइंट्स ऑफ डिसकंटिन्यूटी. Now I suspect that wherever this function is changing its definition, there may the points of discontinuity lie. So you see, x is smaller than equal to 1, x is greater than 1 but smaller than 2, and x is greater than or equal to 2. So 1 and 2 I can see as the points of points at which the function is changing its definition. So anywhere between 1 and 2, or you can say among 1 and 2, the function is likely to be discontinuous, but we have to check the discontinuity, right? So let's check the discontinuity starting with x is smaller than equal to 1. Okay, so what we are going to do with x is smaller than equal to 1? Let's first approach, you can say 1 from both the sides. So let's make a small number line over here, and let's imagine that there is 1 written over here, and we are approaching this 1 from left hand side and right hand side, and let's see what do we get. Okay, so f of x is equal to x plus 2 when x is smaller than equal to 1. So limit, अच्छा one more thing we have to write, and f of x is equal to x minus 2 when x is greater than 1 and smaller than 2. Greater than 1 and smaller than 2. Okay, so we'll write it as limit of f of x as x approaches 1, okay, but from the left hand side. So that is x approaches 1 minus, when x approaches 1 from left hand side, is equal to. So what will this become? Now this is interesting to see. This will become x plus 2. Why? Because we are approaching the number that is 1 uh, from the left hand side. From the left hand side, when we are approaching the number from the left hand side, we are somewhere over this neighborhood, this area, and this area is definitely smaller than 1. And when the value of x is smaller than 1, the function acquires the definition of x plus 2. So the answer would be x plus 2. But again, we have to find the answer. So let's use the method of h. So the next thing which we would write is limit when h tends to 0. Limit when h tends to 0 of x plus 2. X plus 2. Here in the place of x, we would want to write 1 minus h. 1 minus h. Okay, let's see. Let's write it. So in the place of x, I would write 1 minus h plus 2. That is limit of h tends to 0 of 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 minus h. H tends to 0. So okay, so here 3 minus h. Now h is a number which is very very smaller than very very near to 0. So 3 minus h would be little bit smaller than 3, and that is basically x is greater than 2. It satisfies this particular definition of the function. So the answer would be 0. So when we approach the function from left hand side at 1, the answer which it gives us is basically 0. Now let us approach the function from right hand side. So limit of function f of x when x approaches 1 plus is equal to when we are approaching from right hand side, the definition changes to x minus 2. X minus 2. Okay, as the definition is changing to x minus 2, now if we change the limit to h tends to 0, in the place of h we are going to write 1 plus h. 1 plus h minus 2, right? So this will become limit of h tends to 0 of 1 minus 2, that is minus 1. So h minus 1. H minus 1. Now h is a number which is tending to 0, very very small, very near to 0. So we are getting a negative number over here. So our answer would be, you can say, minus 1. Okay, so that means on approaching 1 from left hand side and right hand side, we are getting two different answers. Okay, so what should be uh, the value of function at 1? Let's find that also. So limit when x tends to 1 of f of x is equal to x plus 2, but by plugging in the value of x as 1 in this, we are getting 3. So the answer of this function at 1 is absolutely different. It is 3. But when we are approaching 1 from the left hand side, it is entirely different. When we are approaching function from the right hand side, it is entirely different. Okay. So what about other points? Let's check the discontinuity at 2 also. Okay, so at 2, limit as x tends to 2 minus of f of x is equal to limit of x tends to 2 minus, okay, 2 minus, now we are approaching 2 from the left hand side. Now x is greater than equal to x is greater than equal to 2. When x is greater than equal to 2, the function becomes 0, but when x is smaller than 2, the function becomes x minus 2. So here you are going to write x minus 2. Now what you are going to write is limit h tends to 0. In the place of x you will write h, sorry, 2 minus h, 2 minus h, 2 minus h minus 2. So basically this is minus 2 plus 2 gets cancelled and you get limit of h tends to 0 of minus h, which is nothing but 0. Okay, so we have found the left hand limit when x approaches 2 minus as 0. Now let's find the right hand limit. So limit of x tends to 2 plus of f of x, okay, is equal to, now 2 plus means you are approaching the function from the right hand side from the numbers which are greater than 2. Here you already know that the answer is going to be 0. Now there is no point of solving it by putting the value of h or anything, because you have already got the answer 0. Now here the left hand limit and right hand limit both are same. Let's check what is the value of limit of f of x when x tends to 2. So what we'll do is we'll put the value of x as 2, and what we are going to get is 0. So at 0 there is no discontinuity. Sorry, at 2 there is no discontinuity. The discontinuity lies at 1. So the point of discontinuity is nothing but 1. Okay, so you can say that the point of discontinuity of f of x is equal to 1. Now there is slight difference in my method which I have approached, the H method, and the method which they have done, the C method which they have done. That also will understand. But there is a slight difference in our method. But it is completely okay if if you are getting legitimate answers. To have slight different methods is absolutely fine. Now let's see what method with which they have solved the question. So see, the domain of the function is real number. That is absolutely true. So they've taken 5 cases. One is when c is smaller than 1. C is your any real number which you are going to put in the place of x is smaller than 1. So limit of f of x when x tends to c So you are finding the discontinuity or continuity at the point C, which is smaller than 1. So you are approaching C, extending to C, but you are not approaching from left or right hand side. You're just finding the continuity or the value of the function at point C. So uh, for any number which is smaller than 1, the function takes the value x plus 2. Now, if I change x tends to c to h tends to 0, I have to write c plus h in place of x, and it becomes c plus h plus 2. Now, h is very small number, so you can ignore it and you can directly write it as c plus 2, okay, as your f of c. Now, what is c plus 2? C plus 2 is just similar to x plus 2. No problem. Okay, so they have directly written f is continuous at c, which is smaller than 1. So this point I'm not very much sure that how can they directly write uh, okay, if f of x is equal to f of c when x tends to c, f is continuous, but there are actually three criteria for checking continuity. That is, the left hand limit and right hand limit should be equal and should exist, and the function should have the same value at that particular point at which we are finding the continuity. So they have just found the continuity at that point. But what about the left hand and right hand limit? That they have not found. Okay, then they have found the value of the function at 1. So at 1, the function tends to take the value 3. What did we find? At 1, yes, we found it to be 3. Correct. Then we are approaching the function from 1 plus, that is right hand side, and it took the value minus 1. What did we get? Yes, we also got minus 1. So our method is not wrong. Okay. And then we approached the value of the function from left hand side, and we found it to be okay. They did not, yeah, they approached it from left hand side, they got 3. Right hand side, they got minus 1. We got from left hand side when we approached, we got 0, and from right hand side when we got minus 1. Okay, so that was one point of difference between our method and their method. It's okay, let's check how they have solved. uh, so when c is equal to 1, when you are approaching 1 from the left hand side, you will write 1 minus h plus 2, 1 minus h plus 2. What did I write? 1 minus h plus 2. That is 3 minus h. 3 minus h, which is 3. Hey, oh, that's my mistake. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My method was correct, except that I made a very stupid mistake where I wrote 3 minus h to be 0. Actually, 3 minus h is 3. So our method is correct. It's not wrong. Only LHL is not equal to RHL. That is the thing. Hmm. So f is discontinuous at c is equal to 1, and at 2 we check the continuity. At 2, the LHL at 2 was 0 and RHL was also 0. So f is continuous at c. So okay, I kind of agree with the method which I have done, and I don't have any issues with it. So now you have you've seen two perspectives with which these continuity questions could be solved. So ठीक है, अच्छी बात है. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Show that this function is continuous on 0 comma 2, you can say closed interval. This is a closed interval, right? 0 and 2 both are included. Okay, 0 comma 2 closed interval. So 0 and 2 both are included, and we have to check the continuity of the function, or we have to show the continuity of the function in this particular set. Okay, so continuity in an interval, you can call it. Okay, so now f of x is equal to mod of x when x is smaller than equal to 2. Let's check the continuity at 2. At 2. Okay, so let's approach 2 and check the continuity. So let's approach 2 from left hand side, left hand limit. Okay, so limit of f of x, limit of f of x when x tends to, so I'm approaching this value 2 because I want to check the continuity at 2. I'm more interested in 2. I'm approaching 2 from left hand side, 2 minus. Okay, so this will become limit of mod of x when x approaches 2 minus. Okay, now since we are only interested in checking the continuity in this interval, this is the interval of positive numbers and mod of x will remain x in this interval. So I can write limit when limit of x when x tends to 2 minus, I'm sorry, 2 minus. So this will be, okay, now let's change this 2 minus into h tends to 0. So what will be there in the place of x? In the place of x, I'm going to write 2 minus h. Okay, so 2 minus h is a number which is little bit smaller than 2. When the value of x is little bit smaller than 2 or equal to 2, what we are getting as the answer? We are getting the answer as 2 only, right? Because mod of x when x is greater than or when x is smaller than equal to 2, the answer is mod of x. So any number you take, here I had taken 2. So 2 minus h is a very smaller number than 2. So I'm going to get the answer as 2 only. So the left hand limit gives me 2. Okay, now let's check the right hand limit. The limit x tends to 2 plus of f of x is equal to limit of okay, now we are at a number, we are approaching this function from right hand side, and from right hand side the value of this function becomes the greatest integer function, not mod of x but square bracket x. Okay, when x tends to 2 plus. Now if this is the number line and there is 2 over here and I'm approaching 2 from right hand side, so I'm somewhere over here maybe. Let's first replace your x with h. Okay, so limit of h tends to 0, greatest integer function 2 plus h. Okay, so what is the greatest integer function of 2 plus h when h tends to 0? It is absolutely 2. Of course it is 2. So the LHL and RHL both agree at 2. And what is the value of limit of x tends to 2 of f of x? What is the value of the function or formula of the function at 2? At 2, the function acquires the value 2 because at 2, when x is greater than, smaller than, equal to 2, the value of the function is mod of x and mod of 2 is nothing but 2, right? So the function is continuous at 2, definitely. At 2 we have checked its continuity. Okay, so what about um, x is greater than 2? Let's check the continuity at greater than 2. Hey, we don't have to find the continuity at greater than 2. We have to check the continuity at 0. Let's check the continuity at 0. So first we check the continuity at 2. Now we are checking the continuity at 0. So what we'll do is we'll approach 0 from left hand side and right hand side. Okay, we're approaching 0 from left hand side and right hand side. So f of x is equal to mod of x when x is smaller than equal to 2. This formula will be useful. Now let us approach 0 from left hand side. So limit when x approaches 0 minus of f of x, which is equal to limit of mod of x when x approaches 0 minus, and this will be limit of h tending to 0 of mod of x. Now mod of x will be mod of 0 minus h, right? And this would be limit of 0 minus h is minus h when h tending to 0, which is limit of h when h tending to 0, which is nothing but 0. So the left hand limit gives you 0. Okay, what about the value of right hand limit? So limit of f of x when you are tending to 0 from the right side, when you are approaching 0 from the right side. So when you are approaching 0 from the right side, the definition of the function will not change because it is same for all the numbers which are smaller than 2. That is mod of x, x tending to 0 plus, which is limit of h tending to 0. Here I'm going to write in the place of x 0 plus h, which is limit of h when h tends to 0, which is nothing but 0. So at 0 also it is continuous, right? Left hand limit and right hand limit both agree, and of course if I put 0 over here I'm going to get 0. So the function is continuous at 0 and at 2. Yes, 0 and 2 included, it is continuous. But what about the interval between 0 and 2? So we have to take a number and then check its continuity at that particular number. Any number between 0 and 2. So let's do that also and let's check the continuity. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a number line. I'm going to make 0 here, make 2 here, and take a random number c over here. So I'm going to approach c from left hand side and right hand side and check its continuity. Okay, so let's see. When c is smaller than greater than 0 and smaller than 2, okay, and c belongs to any real number. So any real number between 0 and 2, that is the interval, closed interval 0 to. Okay, let's check the continuity. So limit of f of x when x tends to, now we are approaching c from the left hand side, so c minus. Okay, now this number c is smaller than 2, so definitely for smaller than 2 we are going to use the formula of the function mod of x, where x tends to c minus, which is limit of h tends to 0 of, in the place of x I'm going to write c minus h. Okay, c minus h. Okay, so here it will become when h is tending to 0. Okay, h is very small to 0, so mod of c will give me C only. Mod of C will give me C only. Okay. What about limit of f of x when x tends to C plus? We are approaching C from the right hand side. What will I get? Limit of mod of x. You are approaching x from right hand side. So this will be limit of C plus h when h tends to 0. So this will be again mod of C, h is tending to 0. So mod of C, here I should write mod of C is equal to C, mod of C is equal to C. So you approach from the left hand side or right hand side, you are getting the same answer. And what if you are writing limit of f of x when x tends to C? That is f of C. Now remember, C is between 0 and 2. Okay, you are again going to get C. So that means for any real number between 0 and 2, the function is continuous, and it is also continuous at 2 and at 0. Okay, so this function is continuous everywhere in the given interval. The given function is continuous everywhere in the given interval. Let's check the answer. Okay, first they have checked for the interval. Okay, that's a simple way to write. Very nice. When x is equal to 0, I think we checked it in the second part. Yes, we got 0 as answer. In the first part, we got 2 as answer everywhere. Yes, absolutely correct. Our method is very much correct, and good, we are getting the answers. Okay, so 1 hour is already up, and now by now that we are doing this continuity, you should get the hang of this method of continuity, the H method and everything, which was a little bit new because we tend to forget what we learned in class 11th, and every year, when we go through this topic all over again, we find it little different, little difficult. But as we get a hang of it, we are able to solve the questions. Now see, there are many other questions. There are total 13 questions. We are on the 7th question. I'm going to stop this video. The questions which are going to come will be more challenging. Trigonometry will be involved, and it will be more, you can say, difficult. But I think we should be able to now, because we have known the concept of continuity and we know how to solve the questions based on continuity. We should be able to crack these questions also. So I will definitely upload the next part of the video very soon. That is, I think, in a couple of days. Till then, you just watch the video and note down the method with which I'm trying to solve these questions. Okay, so I'll see you in the next class. Bye bye.